Here's Stan Warren Luttrell.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Finding Love podcast number 45. And today's guest will be Krystal, and she'll be talking about what she's doing with the newsletter and how it relates to the Finding Love podcast, among other things. And I want to remind you, you can hear the podcast in a myriad of places. Among those is our hosting service, Anchor.fm, Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Stitcher, and TuneIn. Of course, you can hear the podcast using any Alexa-enabled device telling you to play Alexa play the Finding Love podcast from TuneIn. Without any further ado, let's turn it over to Matt Rogers, and we will start things off with Krystal and what she's doing. Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to finally Finding Hope podcast number 45 with Krystal, and she's going to talk about the newsletter and advertising, which I'm very happy to talk about. But to start the proceedings, we are going to have Mr. Matt Boderstrauss. How's that for an introduction?
I like it. I'll take it. All right. Well, Krystal, thank you for being willing to be on our podcast this week. A lot of our listeners might remember that we've actually already done a podcast with you where you kind of shared your story about having been an alumni of Rogue Retreat, but a lot of people would not be aware of the job change that you recently had. And so you might tell us a little bit about what you're now doing?
Well, I'm now working in marketing. I'm doing a lot of stuff with our Clean Sweep program and mostly advertising at this point.
Okay.
And by the way, before we go on, this is really something because this is her third appearance on the podcast.
Yeah, she actually guest hosted and helped interview you one time, Stan.
Yes, she did.
Yeah, that's right. I actually forgot about that one.
That's right.
So, Krystal, you were talking about marketing and kind of clean sweep and those pieces. And so you actually came up with a pretty brilliant idea to be able to bundle some of our contracts together that can help serve businesses. But can you maybe break that down a little bit and explain to us about what Clean Sweep is?
Yeah, absolutely. So Clean Sweep is a multi-purpose program that we have here at Rogue Retreat. Clean Sweep is, first and foremost, it's a jobs training program for the people who come into our program who are coming out of homelessness. We will take these men and women who choose to clean the streets in town and other areas around Medford. We pay the people in gift cards, the participants who go out and work. It helps kind of get them back into mainstream society, helps them start to kind of gain some confidence, get back into a routine, get back into work mode. We pay them in gift cards. So one of the things that we ask the community and local businesses is for them to contract with us to be able to afford the overhead, the gas, the transportation, the gift cards. And we'll go out there, we'll take some of these people out and we'll clean up around their business and we'll maintain, their property.
That's
so
awesome.
It's a service to our community, and it's also, it's a way for us to give back to the community as well as help get these guys back into being self-sufficient.
Yeah, and Krystal, for folks that might not be aware, where do we get most of our Clean Sweep workers from?
From the Kelly shelter, I would say. For the most part, there are people who have moved into our shelter.
Okay. All right. So in many cases, this is a program that really kind of engages those that were once unsheltered and kind of brings them into the forefront of helping clean up the community and help local businesses.
Absolutely. And a lot of these people, they've been out of work for so long, they feel like nobody's going to hire them. And it's such an amazing thing, to see them get up every single day. And, sometimes they do struggle at first, but then they get back into the routine, and it gets to a point where if they're showing up and being consistent and being respectable on the job and being dependable, that we can actually go and advocate for them, kind of like a job reference. to help them get good jobs in the community outside of, our program.
That sounds amazing. And so,
Yeah.
you were saying that you kind of contract with local businesses. What does some of that look like?
So what that would look like is if somebody has, a business around here and, they're seeing a lot of litter, they're seeing a lot of leaves stack up, we can go to them and we can ask, or they could come to us and ask us to exchange our services for some type of donation, monthly donation toward our.
How would they come to us?
Well, by listening to this podcast and saying, hey, I think I want their services.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that a lot. So, listeners, if you are interested in learning about Clean Sweep, reach out and ask for Krystal, and she will help get you the information that you need. And so, Krystal, we're also talking a little bit about some of the newsletter advertising, and then also what we want to start doing with podcast advertising.
Yeah.
You had a brilliant idea about bundling Clean Sweep newsletter advertising and podcast advertising together as a package deal for businesses. Can you maybe talk a little bit about what your vision is for that?
Yeah. So, I realized after I was talking to, so many of these local businesses, that they really have the desire not only to give back to the community, and are very supportive of Rogue Retreat and the Clean Sweep program, but, they are businesses and they want to advertise, and we just happen to have the opportunities for them. And I thought, well, why not put together this bundle package? You would get a discount. You'd be able to choose from several different packages in this bundle that fit your needs. From newsletter, placing ads in our newsletter. It could be business card size. It could be all the way up to a full page size or anywhere in between. You would also get the opportunity to advertise in our podcasts. You could do pre-roll or post-roll. You get 15 seconds and you can talk about your business, or you can put out a special offer for your business, or you could even have us speak for you. That's another way you could advertise with us.
I know this is going to sound odd, but I like to build things up so people understand, because people may not understand. I know this is going to sound weird, but people may not understand what pre-roll means and what post-roll means. And I know that it should be, but we should kind of build things up so where people understand it.
Yeah. Well, that's a great question, Stan. What are pre-rolls and post-rolls?
So that would be either the 15 seconds prior to the podcast, it'd be like the introduction, or at the very end of our podcast, or you could even opt for both.
Okay.
Well, we like both.
Yeah, we definitely like both.
And we've got a bundle to match that.
Oh, that's cool.
That is amazing, Krystal. And can you talk a little bit about some of the work that you've recently done? Because I know that just a little while ago I heard you talking about a new contract that you just signed out, or that you just
Yeah. So, and would you like me to say their names?
Absolutely, please do.
Okay. So, we would really like to thank Keller Williams for jumping on the opportunity to support Clean Sweep. They signed into a contract with us for us to clean their premises around their building. We'll be going out once a week. We actually started at their location today. We really appreciate that. We've also been working with Pronto Print. So thank you to everyone over there at Pronto Print. They're working for exchange for some in-kind donations that are going to be very, very, very helpful to us, meaning that we are trading out services. And we love that. We absolutely love that. Any opportunity to build a relationship with, businesses in the community is a win-win for us.
Yeah.
And if people want to, I'm sorry, Krystal, if people want to support Pronto Print and express appreciation for what they do and want to give, some actual love to them, where are they located?
So they are located on the corner. I think it's the corner of 4th and Jackson. You put me on the spot here.
I believe it's 4th and Fur.
Sorry.
And I don't want to leave anybody out. Also, Mimo's Kitchen, an amazing American and Mexican cuisine restaurant. down on Central.
And I've been there.
Yeah, and their food is phenomenal. I actually took my family there to show my appreciation, and now I'm going to be going for selfish reasons because I just want more of their food. But they contracted with us. They put up a donation box, which is another amazing way to help support Rogue Retreat is by putting one of our donation boxes in their restaurant by their registers. And they're also giving us all their recyclables so that we can turn those in for the refunds. And we're doing that. They're doing that in exchange for clean sweep services.
That's amazing. No, that is an amazing thing to be able to do right there. Hey, Krystal, on another personal note, what has it been like to be all of a sudden being out there in the community doing all this outreach work and talking to these businesses? Do you find that your background of having worked on the program side of Rogue Retreat and then also your personal experience with Rogue Retreat, do you find that helps you in being able to pitch what we're doing?
Absolutely. I feel like I'd be without a clue if I had just gotten put out there into the community. I believe that my experience with Rogue Retreat set me up for the first position I had here, which was working in programs and working the front desk. And I think that prepared me for being able to have the answers to the questions that, the people in the community are asking me. Yeah, I absolutely think everything has fallen into place perfectly. If you don't mind, I wanted to mention another contract because I just don't want to leave anyone out from this week.
Absolutely, please do.
So the Minute Markets, they have agreed as of today to contract with us also for a monthly fee for three of their locations and possibly more to come.
That's amazing.
So I wanted to say thank you to them too.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Minute Market. That is a big deal.
Minute Market.
Those are stores that are everywhere. And I know that when we were first doing Clean Sweep, for example, we talked about wanting to even get donation boxes with them, but it was very difficult to figure out who to even talk to. Yeah. So congratulations on that, and thank you to them. That is an amazing partnership to have. Yeah. So you were talking a little bit about your background with Rogue Retreat kind of set you up to be able to help answer some of the questions that folks might have for you. What are the most typical questions that they're asking?
Well, I think that a lot of people, and naturally might have some type of, a biased opinion about homelessness or how likely it is that somebody's going to be able to turn their lives around, especially from such a low point. And I'll be the first to admit that I was a huge judge of that myself. I have got to actually not only experience myself and watch my husband experience coming, out from that end all the way to the other end, but working here at Rogue Retreat and working in programs where for so long I was the first contact when they walked in the door and sometimes the last one when they moved on into their own housing. And, it has really shown me that, hey, this program can work if you're willing and you're willing to take the advice and stuff. And so I think that absolutely those experiences all together do.
Yeah. Well, and Krystal, you kind of are really the first person that we've ever had in the position that you're doing. And so, that you're literally the first staff member that we've had that is focused solely on these contract development within these different ways that we can help market to businesses. What is your vision for the role that you have with the agency now? Well,
I would say I'm definitely making this up as I go along, with the help of the other staff. But I envision plazas. I would absolutely love to see us be able to keep up some of the bigger plazas here in town. And, just maybe spread our wings and fly all over the city and maybe outside of the city. We're not right now. We staff the Clean Sweep, schedule to, mornings every week. But there's no reason that we can't go outside of those limits and, be working all day, taking out different crews all day. There's so many people in our program with a desire to work and do something. I know that we could do that.
Absolutely. Have you? I know that with your kind of watching the program, and you've gone out a few different times with Todd and even Chris to go out and to do the routes. What's your experience been like working with the folks coming out of our programs that are utilizing the program for job readiness training?
I actually grew really attached. I did go out several times and cleaned up the streets with them,
Mm-hmm.
and it was it was humbling to hear like their stories the same as mine and the same as the next guy, and there's hope for every single one of them. Regardless of where they came from, it was just a wonderful thing, and I would love to go out more. I would love to go hang out with them. It's really fun.
Were you surprised about anything you learned? I mean, did you have any of your preconceived notions?
Yeah. Yeah, there were a couple of them on the crew, while we were chatting, who had never even tried a drug in their lives. And
Wow.
I immediately thought to myself, like, wow, I did just come into this just assuming, because they were homeless, and then and that wasn't their case at all. And it just reminded me to not be so quick to assume.
Yes.
Circumstances play a big role in why a lot of people end up homeless.
And really, it could happen to anybody.
Anybody. Yeah.
Absolutely.
It was just a friendly reminder for sure.
Yeah, I think for myself, that's one of the biggest eye openers is realizing even myself how close I could be even today to being in that same situation.
Yeah.
And so it's definitely helps you put things in perspective. And
Can I say this? It's no eye opener for me too. Also,
yeah, I believe it, Stan.
Yep, for sure.
And so, Krystal, what would some of the perceived benefits be for a business to do a bundle package with Clean Sweep, newsletter advertising, and podcast advertising?
Well, for one, I don't think it's ever a bad thing to show that you support, your local community nonprofit. That has its perks all in its own. Our advertising opportunities, just our newsletter alone, we send out to about 1,500 local residents every single month. So you've got a pretty good sized viewing audience right there.
Yeah.
I don't know the exact numbers, but I know they're really great on the number of people who listen to our podcasts. And I know that, within our community, people do like that, that people support our program, because I know that, our program is doing something in our community.
Mm-hmm.
I want people to take a shot at going to our podcast and advertising for another reason. Besides the obvious.
Yeah.
There is a podcasting service called School of Podcasting, and it's run by one of the largest podcasting organization in the world called Libsyn.
Mm-hmm.
And their comments are that people tend not to support what are called podcasts that are, they have a name called inspiration porn.
Mm-hmm.
And that basically means inspirational kind of things. They don't monetize those things. You might get grants, but you don't tend to get. And I want to have people prove them wrong.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely. I personally find that that if you find the right balance of pulling on somebody's heartstrings and then also showing tangible benefits of something, that's usually a good mixture of being able to do that. But one of my favorite things about what we're doing now, especially our work with advertising with businesses, their Clean Sweep in the newsletter, is that there's a very negative conversation oftentimes in most communities that take place between local businesses and those that are unsheltered. And what I believe that Clean Sweep and these advertising opportunities are doing is it is creating an alternative narrative that is creating a positive spin on the relationship between those that are experiencing homelessness and local businesses.
Local businesses, yeah.
I personally find that is a very refreshing thing to be able to look at and see that rather than dissension, we're seeing partnership.
Right.
Yeah. Krystal, I greatly appreciate you taking the time to do this. And is there anything else that you're kind of burning to tell us about the work that you're doing?
So I guess I'd just like to close with telling you what this would look like or could look like. So if anybody out there is interested in any of our opportunities, you can contact me at krystal@rogueretreats.com. It's Krystal with a K. Or you can call the main office. If you'd like to hear about our bundle packages, we can make an appointment. We can meet for coffee. You can come to my office. I could come to yours. Treats on us. And we can sit down and I can present this bundle package to you and find one that works for you.
That's amazing,
And
Krystal.
with respect to the podcast, if they would like to talk to Matt and myself about this, I would encourage people to do that too. And I'm sorry, I forgot your name was spelled with a C. Oh, well.
It's with a K.
I have to say one
It's
thing.
with a K, Stan.
I know. One of the things that I love, though, is that Krystal was the first person I met here when I first started.
Oh, that is right.
That's right.
You were right there at that, and it was like I'd always look forward to. The one thing I did look forward to going upstairs was that I would watch people as they came in, so to speak. And that was sort of an interesting experience too, because there was such. I learned a lot from watching people come in.
Yeah.
Because you really did see a plethora. I like that word. Of
Plethora. Yeah.
And thank you for doing everything you do. You're an actual, really a delightful person to work with. And I'm so happy you're down there where we are now.
Yeah. And same to you. Same to you guys.
All right. Well, Krystal, we are going to be coming to kind of the close of this now, and I'm going to throw you the question that I usually throw to everybody. And I know that you're going to knock this one out of the park because of what you used to do with the front desk and everything else on the program side. But in those days when you encounter somebody that is literally at a place of hopelessness, what would be your message to them to not give up hope?
I truly hate to always make it about me, but I remember being in that same spot. And so the first thing I do is let them know that I was literally there myself.
Mm-hmm.
I might even, bother them with some of the gory details so that they know that I'm really relatable. And then I just tell them about the miracles in my life and what this program did for me and what this program can do for them, and the power of being able to tell somebody honestly that you have been there and this is how I'm doing now. I mean, it's huge. It's huge. And I have had so many people tell me that it truly gave them hope when they first came into our program. So
I appreciate that, and I guarantee that they appreciate that as well. Well, Krystal, thank you for being our next victim. And,
thanks, guys.
And Stan, I'll let you take us home.
She must like being our victim because this is the third time for her. So, but as they say, the third time is the charm.
Bring it on, guys.
Okay, this is the conclusion of podcast number 45 of Finding Hope, featuring Krystal. And with that in mind, this is Stan Luttrell, along with Matt Vodostrauss, saying goodbye.
Menu bar. Menu. Open. Close. Save as unavailable. A. Save Control plus S unavailable. S. Escape. Menu bar. Files and